Kentucky's Croatian power forward Andrija Jelavic is officially on campus. He had a message for BBN upon his arrival. Carson and I are going to talk about what this means, what he brings to this team, and just how good he can be for Mark Pope's team, which we both think is very, very good. We'll talk about that today on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined, as always, by Carson Nash. Carson, I'm very excited to talk about Jelavic. I think he's one of our favorite players on this team.
Yeah, no, I'm super stoked, and I'm glad he finally arrived on campus. No more worries from the BBN. We get to see him in full effect. I'm really excited to watch the pro.
Well, it's funny. I'm actually writing an article right now about him getting here, and I just wrote exactly about that. Like we're all still like have shell shock from what happened with Big Z and the whole we had to make the billboard and he didn't get here and all that, stuff that went down, and we finally got him eligible, and then he comes out against Georgia and like looked like the best player in the history of college basketball. But I think we all, like I said, have a little shell shock from that. We're like, man, I want to get him here. It's weird. And so I'm glad that Jelavic is here. And that is great to see. Obviously, we were all concerned about it. But I think what I like about this is, do I wish he'd have been here a month ago? Yeah, I think we all do. But at the end of the day, we scrimmaged Purdue. I said it's on October 24th, I believe that is. So that means he literally has 2 months and like 5 days to get ready. And once again, that game doesn't even count. I mean, if you count the actual first game of the year, which is November 4th, I think, he's got like 2 months and 2 weeks to learn this system, get used to playing with these guys. I think that he's got plenty of time to get used to this system. So I think that would I have loved for him to be here during the summer? Of course I would have. But I think he got here in plenty of time where it's not going to take him long to get adjusted to the system, playing with these guys, and he's going to be ready to rock and roll for that Purdue exhibition on the 24th.
Yeah, and that's exciting stuff because you know how hard he's been training overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's with a pro organization. So I don't think he's going to skip a beat much when he comes in and starts practicing with the Cats because, he's been in that organization. What is it? Meta Baymax?
Super Bet.
Sorry. Some of those names overseas.
Yeah.
But he's in a good organization. And so it's going to be exciting to see how that translates over to college basketball.
Well, and I mean, like Carson and I have said repeatedly since we landed Jelavic, I mean, he's played in a league that produced one Nikola Jokic and has produced a lot of elite talent that's in the NBA right now. And, I think that, we have a 21-year-old freshman right now this dude's played years and years of professional basketball. So, and that's why when we talk about the ceiling and floor for Jelavic, I think there's a wide gap between the ceiling and the floor. I think that's safe to say. But at the same time, the way I look at this is like, and I've said this on the show before, I think that his floor is a playable, solid power forward in the SEC and in college basketball. I think that is his floor. That is the worst case scenario. I mean, the dude has played professional basketball in Europe and looked good. It'd been a good role player for teams. And I think his ceiling is one of the best power forwards in all college basketball who could turn himself into a first-round NBA draft pick. I mean, he's that talented. So I don't see him coming here and being bad. I think the worst-case scenario is a solid player for this basketball team, and that is very exciting. He still needs to come here and prove it. But, just the film we've seen from him, what we've heard about him from European scouts, I don't see how this kid isn't successful in Lexington.
Yeah, and like you said, he's already got the fundamentals down, right? Because in overseas, that's all they preach. They preach the fundamentals, and he's got some athleticism. He's got some burst. He can run the floor with the ball. He can pass, he can shoot, he can do pretty much everything. So, I mean, it's going to be a transition period, because how does that translate to college basketball? Some translate better, some don't. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think he's got all the tools there to hit his ceiling.
I agree. I think that that's a great way to describe it, is with the skill set he possesses when he gets playing in this system. It's going to be an adjustment period. There is an adjustment period to college basketball, SEC basketball, from playing overseas. We've heard NBA players talk about that. We've heard college players talk about it. There is an adjustment period, but he got here in plenty of time that I think he will be able to adjust before we play the first game of the season. And I think a great thing for him, who's he going to be going up against every day, Carson?
Mo Diabate.
That sounds like a pretty damn good way to get ready to get used to college basketball. One of the best defenders, one of the best rebounders in college basketball. And is Jelavic probably 3 or 4 inches taller than Diabate? Yeah, he is. Does Diabate care? No, he doesn't. You know what I mean? I mean, he's going to give Jelavic hell in practice all day long because he wants this team to be better. He wants, Mo D wants his team to be as good as it can be, and he's a competitor. He's a fierce competitor. And I think that personally is great for Kentucky, knowing like, hey, you're going to have one of those two is going to start. I'm really can see this going either way. Now that Jelavic is officially here and on the roster and on campus, and he's got 2 months, I could see him beating out Mo D to start. I could. I really think that's closer to 50-50 than I bet if you ask most people, they'd probably say 60-40 Diabate. I think it's like 52-48 Diabate. And I think that could flip on its head quickly if Jelavic is as good as we think he can be.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's a different, you got 2 different players, right? Mo D is more of like a Dennis Rodman-esque player where he's going to go and get all the boards, play great defense. And then you got Jelavic, who's kind of perfect for Pope's system. He's 6'11", can spread the court, can pass. Mo D's a good passer too. Can play in the pick and roll, can run the court. I mean, he does everything Pope wants in a 4-man. It's almost like a better version of Andrew Carr of what you got last year. And that's Pope's position. Like Pope he was a 4, he was a stretch 4. He knows how to coach the bigs. I think Jelavic is only going to get better.
I think the Carr comparison and saying he's going to be a better Andrew Carr is great because when we got Andrew Carr, we all looked at him as a guy who was a very skilled 4. And this dude, Andrija Jelavic, is a very much more skilled 4 than Andrew Carr. I mean, I think he's better in literally every single aspect of the game of basketball. I think he's a better shooter. I think he's a better ball handler. I think he's a better defender. I think he's a better rebounder. I think he's a better shot blocker. I think that Jelavic, and we love Andrew Carr. I mean, this is not disrespect to Andrew Carr. I think that's what we've done from last year to this year. We've upgraded at every position. I think Jelavic is a better player than Andrew Carr significantly, and Carr was good for us last year. And that should be exciting, especially if Jelavic is our backup 4. It's like our backup 4 is significantly better than our starting 4 from last year. Like that says that's a testament to what Pope has done this offseason, putting this roster together, and a big reason why Carson and I believe this team can win a national championship.
Yeah, and Jelavic is kind of the unicorn, right? And he can take our team's ceiling even higher because we don't know yet what we're getting from him, but he can do everything at the size that he is. And so if we hit on Jelavic, it's going to be a scary sight for a lot of other teams.
I mean, it really is because I mean there's a lot of players that I think you could deem the X factor on this basketball team. I think you could sit here and you could try and convince me that it's Cam Williams. You could convince me it's Jalen Lowe taking his game to the next level. You could convince me it's getting a healthy Jaden Quaintance. But I mean, this kid, if we see Jelavic be that star and take it to the next level, it's just going to be really, really, really scary because his upside is through the roof. NBA scouts love him. European, scouts saying this guy's going to be an NBA player. There's a reason for all of this. So I am a big believer that we're going to see him become a star this year. Carson, give us your best Jelavic's BB welcome to BBN or hey BBN, I'm here message, because it's pretty good. Let's hear it.
Hey BBN, it's Andrija Jelavic.
I was so
will
great.
get us a number 9.
Yeah. Hello BBN, it's Andrija Jelavic. I'm here. Let's win the number 9. I love that. You can tell he's just gonna be funny as hell. I know. He's great. I was so excited to watch him play basketball. So I mean, I got 2 more topics I want to talk about today, Carson. One, you don't know I'm going to bring up, but I'm going to bring it up here shortly. But so do you have any other thoughts on Jelavic's arrival and what he can do for this basketball team this season?
No, except for the fact that it's going to propel this team to greatness. In my opinion, I think we're going to get that ceiling version of Jelavic. I'm high on him. I just think he's so skilled. He's very athletic. I just think his game's going to translate well to college basketball, and he's going to be a stud.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I agree with that. I'm very excited to see him play. I think he takes his team to the next level, and this kid is going to be a difference maker for Pope's team. I did not tell you we were going to discuss this today, and I didn't think about it till just now, but I just remembered this. Did you see what Jacob Polacek put on Twitter about? So I guess, and it's obviously an anonymous coach. I don't know which coach it is, but it says several SEC head coaches talked with KSR Plus anonymously about Kentucky's 25-26 roster. And then the quote, it's national championship or bust when you're paying double, triple, or quadruple what everyone else is in the country. I don't – whatever coach said that, I don't know. Obviously, it's anonymous, so we don't know which SEC coach it was. But, I mean, that's like – I don't know if I'm buying that we played quadruple, you know. I mean, obviously, I think we paid more than a lot of teams, but at the end of the day – we're trying to win a national championship. We didn't cheat. We're playing by the rules. If get your money up. If you go and bitch,
yeah, I was gonna say brokey. That's broke talk right there. Shout out Nate Oates. I guarantee it was him. He always has something to say.
Well, I'll tell you this. This sounds exactly like me. Anytime the Reds play the Dodgers, this is exactly what I do. That is the exact thing I do. I whine. When they have $181 billion, we have like $7 million to make our team. Of course they won. That sounds like me. Every time we play a team from a big city that has a high salary cap, or you know what I mean, high payroll. That's what I sound like. And I'm not proud to say it, but that's my copium is when that happens a lot. But I mean. Either seriously, I mean, I don't have anything else to respond to that other than get your money up. I mean, we're playing within the rules. I don't know. Kentucky is a basketball school. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. We're trying to make it clear that we're here to win basketball national championships. We're playing within the rules. Hell yeah! Am I gonna be put an asterisk next to it because we spent $20 million? I don't give a crap. We didn't cheat. You're allowed to do it. If you're mad about it, then you do the same thing. Like that's the reality here.
You don't put asterisks behind the Dodgers when they win the World Series, or the Yankees when they win the World Series.
Well, I do. But beside the point, that's different because that's not this situation. I'm just kidding. I don't. Screw those guys. Especially the Mets. But I just that's annoying to me. The people are griping about it. I mean, it's just the reality is, get your money up, which is funny because I'm griping about the exact same thing, but it's different because it's different sport. And we're on the positive end. I'm sure Dodgers fans don't care. I'm sure Dodgers fans are going to tell me, hey, get your money up, brother. Get your money up. That's what they would tell me. And I'd be like, you're right. And we can't do it. We can't do it. But yeah, so I just think that was funny. Thought that was the people were griping about that. And at the end
sounds
of the day,
like a lot of coping.
It is exactly, and that's why. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what's happening. And the last thing I want to talk about first, though, I want to throw a happy birthday out there to the one and the only, the GOAT, Mr. Jeff Nash. Carson, it was your father's birthday yesterday, and he is the GOAT. So that needs to be shared.
Shout out, Jeff.
So that had to be shared. But I want to talk a little quarterback. Today. Obviously, football season is, what are we now? 11 days away from the Toledo matchup, the 30th.
Yeah. Bo Allen days away, baby. Bo Allen days away.
Shout out Bo Allen. We are always a pro Bo Allen podcast here at Wildcats Today. But it sounds like Cutter Boley is making his move. It's like you're at Keeneland, you know what I mean? And you had Calzada to win, and I had Calzada to win the race. And then that 9-1 horse is coming up the edge hot around the last corner. That's what Cutter Boley's doing right now. And this is a conversation you and I've had multiple times. I've had this conversation with Boff multiple times. I don't want to be that guy, and not everyone's doing this, so I don't feel bad about it, but I will be very frustrated if Zach Calzada starts for the Kentucky Wildcats this season. And I will tell you why right now. I understand. I think that they feel like, okay, well, we paid Calzada, and I don't know what his NIL package was. I don't know how much we paid him, but we definitely paid him a significant amount of money to come here and play quarterback. It would be frustrating if Cutter Boley wins this job and starts thinking, man, could we have gone and got another receiver? Could we have gone and got another this or that with that money? That would be a little frustrating, but the way I've explained it, I think this is the Walmart version of and Carson and I have both said this in the podcast, but a Walmart version of the Napier DJ Lagway situation. I think
You mean Mertz?
Well, yeah, no, but I'm talking about like it. What it made sense. I'm talking about that exact. It's the exact same situation. We've now Lagway was a freshman last year, but we've got a redshirt freshman in Cutter Boley and Calzada, the veteran that's played a lot of college football. He's on his super senior year. He's done after this year. If you're Stoops and you're fighting for your life right now, coaching wise, I don't know why you wouldn't start the player that can build excitement and hype around your team. If Zach Calzada goes 5-7 this year and then leaves, no one cares. If Cutter Boley finds a way to go 5-7 or 6-6 with this schedule, people might go, next year you trade Texas for Oklahoma, you trade Ole Miss for Mississippi State, and this schedule gets easier, and you've got Boley. We could win 8-9 football games. I think that is why you go with Cutter Boley. But Carson, what are your thoughts on this quarterback situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a perfect take. With what has been said about Cutter and camp, it's going to be hard for me to believe that starting Calzada is the right decision. And I know, like you said, we brought him in for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. But Cutter's a redshirt freshman. Mm-hmm. And I think as many reps as we can give Cutter, the better, because I think he has all the intangibles to be great. He can throw outside the pocket. He's got a good arm. He's 6'5". He's a stud. And I think if you start Calzada and you win 4 to 5 games and then the season's over, Calzada leaves, but then Cutter transfers, then what do you do? Because, Cutter's probably not going to sit back there and not play for another season without leaving. So, because, other teams are going to come and poach him. Mm-hmm. So I like your take. I think it would be smart to at least start Cutter and see where it goes. Now, if Cutter doesn't live up to the expectations, you can always go Zach again. Yeah. But I think starting Cutter is probably the right decision, because you can always lean on Zach, and it would be because of Cutter messing up for Zach to come in instead of the other way around, which I think could lead to Cutter leaving.
Well, we will also know very early on if Cutter Boley has it to be the quarterback for this football team for the future, not just for the future. I mean, once again, we're not buying stock in this season. I think with how tough this schedule is, I think that, you could talk me into 7-5 being the best case scenario. I think 6-6 is the best case scenario. It's just, this schedule is really tough. You're playing a lot of underrated good teams on top of the best teams in the SEC and in college football. So I just don't by this season going better than that. And it's not anyone on the team's fault. I think that's just the reality. But if I just think it makes sense to try and build excitement for the future, and Calzada can't do that because there is no future. It's this year and it's over. Cutter Boley can build excitement. And why not send him out there and then he's either the guy for the future or he's not. That's the reality. And we'll be able to tell that if he starts by the end of the Ole Miss game. Those two games, I think, frankly, you'd be able to tell if he's got it or not, or if at least he's got a shot to have it if he plays 3, 4, 5 more games. Yeah. And I think he can be a good quarterback, Carson. I think he has it in him. I think that Cutter Boley has it in him to be a good quarterback for this program, but he needs to be given the opportunity. But I mean, like I said, to sum up my thoughts on the Boley Calzada situation, and like Carson and I both said, we get that you paid him. We get that you gave him some NIL money to come here and quarterback this football team. But it just, and I've said, even if it's close, I bet you Cutter Boley is a little bit better right now than Calzada. That's kind of just the vibe I'm getting. If he's better, you play him. As they said on Division III's football finals, what was it? The best man plays. I mean, I think that that's the reality. And I think that, like we've said, as I've stated, if Calzada's here and Boley's just a hair below him, I'd start Boley because what do you have to lose? And I think he's a hair better than Calzada right now. I think it's a no-brainer, and I think it's going to come down to, does Coach Stoops have the kahunas to pull trigger on that decision? And I don't know. Because the safe thing for him to do is probably play Calzada. You know what I mean? That's a safe thing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's time for him to start making not safe decisions if he wants to be here long term.
Yeah, no more punting on 4th and 8 on the opponent's side of the field this season. We got to go balls to the wall this year, no doubt. So I think this could be one of those decisions. And, it may pay off, it may not pay off, but I think it does give the fans a little bit more excitement.
Yeah. And it's a local kid. Mm-hmm. We want to also, how nice it would be to prove that we can develop a damn quarterback. That would be awesome. Yeah. And I think that would say a lot to our buddy coming in, whatever his name is, Pazimski.
Ponatowski.
Ponatowski. That, I think it proves exactly that. Hey, we can develop quarterbacks, come sit for a year and be our guy. Like, I think that we have not had a good track record over, I think, really our lifetime, Carson, of developing quarterbacks.
No, not at all.
So
speaking of Ponatowski, you see him throw 102 across the diamond?
No, but that's abysmal. I mean, that's absurd. How do you 102 across the diamond? What is he? Is he a third baseman or shortstop?
Shortstop.
I think he's going to be good for our baseball team too.
Oh, dude! I mean, as much as he's a great quarterback, he's a better baseball player. Like, he could go in the draft in baseball.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting to watch. That kid's going to be fun to watch and you get to watch him all year long because he's on the gridiron and the diamond. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's the reality here in quarterback. And I mean, I want to hear y'all's thoughts in the YouTube comments. Those UK football fans here. I mean, which quarterback do you want to see go out there on the first drive against the Toledo Rockets? I lean Cutter Boley. I'd rather, go down with the upside than go down with Grandpa. And that's the reality. So I think that's the move you make. So we'll see what happens. Here's my question. When do you think that decision is made? I mean, like I said, we've got 11 days to game one.
Yeah, I think honestly, if I were to predict, I think Stoops goes the safe route and starts Calzada. And then depending on what he does, I think it could be like right after the Ole Miss game or maybe even at halftime of the Ole Miss game.
You're saying when Cutter goes in?
Yeah.
I'm talking about when do you think he names the starter? Like, do you think, I mean, he's only got 11 days. So, I mean, a safe answer is within the next 11 days. But, I mean.
Gosh, I think it'll be, it'll be the Monday before game day.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think this is one of those that will truly come down to the wire. Like, I think these next few days will make a difference when it comes to the decision that Stoops makes. So, What day is that? The Monday. That would be the 25th. Yeah, I like that. 25th. I think that's the day that decision's made. I agree with you. And honestly, you might even see, knowing that Toledo is somehow, as painfully as it is to say this, a important game. I think you could maybe see even a little gamesmanship and him be like, well, we're going to roll both quarterbacks out there a few drives and see if that makes them kind of have to adjust different ways to some different looks. I don't think that's a terrible idea. That doesn't mean you have to do it. You know what I mean? It just gives that Toledo defense another thing to have in the back of their head when they're preparing for the game that week. So a little gamesmanship wouldn't hurt Coach Stoops either. But so yeah, leave in the YouTube comments, who do you think ends up starting at QB for this Kentucky football team? Carson, you got any other thoughts today?
That's all I got. It was big time getting Jelavic on campus. And, we'll see about the QB situation. I don't always love having a QB competition going down to the wire in fall camp. It's not always the best thing in the world, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Yeah, we'll probably, I'd say Friday. Well, this is for next week, not this week. We'll do something probably basketball related on Thursday or Friday this week. But next week, I think Friday, we'll have a football preview for the Toledo game.
Preview the Rockets.
Exciting. Like that's fun. I mean, it's almost football season's almost here, and I'm fired up about it. We got fantasy drafts coming up. This is a good time of year.
Yep.
Bengals, and obviously Carson's an Eagles fan, and I didn't know this. I mean, I as a big of a Reds fan as I am, I'm not really a Bengals guy. But did you see they won their first playoff game since like 2022 or something like that, or first preseason game?
No, that's crazy.
And I know it doesn't really matter, but it's just like, damn, you couldn't bump into a preseason win in like 4 years. Like that's just like a 3
I tell you what, they need to sign some players on defense, or it's probably going to be a long season for them.
I think it's going to be a long season for them. I mean, I just don't think that they have the defensive weapons to. I mean, you can't. I don't care how good your offense is. This is like the Dillingham and Reed Shepherd Kentucky basketball team. You don't want to have to win every game 115 to 114.
Yeah,
I mean. Now, if you're a Jamar Chase fantasy football owner, you do, or a Joe Burrow fantasy football, or T. Higgins or Chase Brown. But I mean, you're not going to win every game 51-49. You just don't want to do that in the NFL. So I don't know what's going on there. I do not have high hopes for the Bengals, but like I said, I don't really care. I care more about my team, which is my fantasy football team, who will be decided over the next week. So that's all I got. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Tuesday. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Tell a friend if you love this show. Tell a friend. All that stuff helps us out a ton. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Tuesday, and we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.